There are three things I will share with you today, which will eventually help me to explain an idea and a product, which will solve one of your concerns. And I also think this concern will affect us all. So if I'm not that Andy Lau who's saying, who am I? I'm the guy who runs ICG. So ICG is a company we founded back in 2003. It was amid a tragic and a very terrible time. At the time, we had to face a virus. I mean, it's a long time, but let's try to imagine 10 years back. It was a time when we had to deal with the virus. It was not a PC virus we had to deal with. It was actually SARS. And it was during that time we founded this company. So it was a very, very tough start for us. Many of our friends, people we know, would have told us we weren't going to make it. After 10 years, we are still here and we're growing strong. In fact, we just celebrated our 10 years anniversary this year, and we are a company that provides IT managed services and consulting services in Hong Kong, Singapore, China, and as of last year, Australia as well. We are trusted by, if not thousands, hundreds of enterprises in today's difficult economy. Our business philosophy is very simple. We basically help our customers to linking IT to business success. We emphasize on that because it's all about value creation nowadays, and that's how we, as a team, as a company, differentiate ourselves from all these other IT companies in the market. And what's more, we have entered into the cloud arena since 2 years ago. In May 2012, we have been enlisted as the government public cloud service provider. So that's enough to get me really busy running ICG. And sometimes other people will ask me what else I do for a living, Andy, besides running ICG. And as I have previously told you, I don't sing, so guess what it is. I like to pick a few great hits. And what I do other time is we pick growing IT startups out of Silicon Valley. And we make venture capital investment into these emerging IT startups. And it's a very stringent, dynamic, and challenging process. We basically invest into the future of an idea. Not only we have to be convinced those idea is sound and marketable, we always also have to be convinced that the ability, competence, determination, ethics, all other elements within the founding team members are the best fit. It has become pretty much my interest and passion. Interest and passion plus connection, what does it give us? Or at least it gives me happy success. I mentioned connection, didn't I? Connection is a key success factor in this game. I was the most fortunate to have met some of the greatest IT innovators of our time as advisors, friends, and partners. For example, this gentleman here, Scott, if you're an IT executive sitting all here, you'll probably have used one of his products back in 5-10 years ago before Sun Microsystems got acquired by Oracle. And he had famously said in early 90s, the network is the computer. This is an interesting one because 25 years later, you might have thought, did Scott actually mean the cloud? Think about it. And I was also very lucky to have met James. I saw his showcase out there as well. And James is interesting. He's also a Hong Kong-born Chinese. He's the co-founder of NetApp, sitting in Silicon Valley, and he runs the Fortune 500 company as of 2012 when they become one. And they power 96% of Fortune 100. So with all this interesting and incredible connection, I do think and do IT in a very, very different way than how I used to when I first started out 10 years ago. And with the powerful connections, I get to meet and see a lot of IT emerging startups. And they're just incredible. And to share with you a little bit about our appetites as a potential investor, we like to look into companies who are in the domain of mobility, big data, and cloud computing. So you might wonder, why am I here today? Because some of you will know I don't usually make myself that public to stand up on the stage because I'm not a very good speaker. However, the last time I spoke here was back in 2009 when I had to address an issue during the global economic downturn. I spoke about leveraging IT managed service to assist companies to get through those hard times. And you know what? 4 years after, our revenue grew by 200%. Not bad, eh? And this exactly brings to the time when I can share this address with you about fellow CIOs, IT leadership, and business executive of what's ahead of us. I think, of course, there's many challenges, many problems ahead of us. But let me try to pick one that is quite significant to all of you, and as well as for myself, for those companies I will have to pick. If I may ask from the audience, what are your top IT concerns? Will anyone be brave enough to throw me some keywords? Anyone? DDoS. What else? Enterprise security. That was BYOD. Enterprise storage, virtualization, what have you. Many of my customers have quietly told me that they've seen enough of the problem being business users flocking into the company network, inside and outside of the network, with their mobile devices. And those are heavyweight users with CXO titles, but just not IT. And they want things to be used yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So enterprise IT have all these challenges. It's beyond a technological challenge. So how to deal with it? The facts alone are daunting. We are talking about businesses today that have become more and more mobile. We are talking about 3/4 of our workforce are somehow linked to mobility job duties. And each employee have 2.8 devices connected. This is a funny one. You can imagine, if that is true, you actually need 3 extra pockets on your clothes to carry these devices. It'd be interesting to open a clothing business just to cater for that. And mobile data is becoming more and more important. Here, what it says is 28% of corporate data are residing exclusively on laptops, tablets, and smartphones. You probably know about that, but what have you done about it? And I've seen enough IT budget being used on the network, on the server end, but on the mobile devices is left alone, and I think this is the time to do something about it. 70% of professionals, when they own a smartphone, they use it to access their corporate data. And when a person owns a tablet, how is he using it for work? 67, over half of the people use it to access work remotely. Just under half is for sales support. Another under 50% is for customer presentation. The state of corporate mobile data is increasing and growing at an unprecedented rate. This is a very beautiful straight line here, and it's true. And looking further down, it's going to shoot up the ceiling here. And the message here is your data is not protected. Most mobile data aren't protected nowadays. Over 90% of companies do not back up smartphones or tablets. Challenge me for that. 76% of companies do not encrypt mobile devices. 51% of companies have no ability to erase data from a lost or stolen device. And these are true facts. It's figures we gather from customers, figures we obtain from Gartner, figures are from fellow CIOs as well. And it's not it. Let me show you a few more interesting big picture statistics. In the world, we have over 5 billion normal phone users. And although the smartphone growth has been tremendous over the past 5 years, when iPhone was launched back in 2007, if you like, it's still just over 1 billion. So you can see huge upside. If you are sitting there as a CIO or business executive, this is something you must address. Otherwise, it's going to drown you. Back in 2009, there's only 1% of mobile internet traffic. 3 years after, it went up 13%. That's quite interesting because it's 1,300%, 13 times. And I think when I looked it up last week, for 2013, it's already up at 15%. So it's going to go up and up and up. And you see, as enterprise IT, we've been looking at traffic in a more traditional way about the fixed network, about the fixed devices, etc., etc. And this is coming up as a pleasant surprise for all of us. And 10 years back, if you imagine, somebody goes to you and say, hey, Windows is no longer be the dominant player. You would have thought that guy would be nuts. 10 years later, iOS and Android dominate the market with 45% market share versus Windows at 35%. This is going to be even more interesting in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's going to be dynamic, and the transformation is really hard to predict because Steve Ballmer will step down and Nokia will be acquired by Microsoft, and there might be different dynamics as well. So, as CIO, of course, you're not here to make a bet, but it's something you have to anticipate and plan for. And back in 2010 was the time smartphones and tablets alone shipment exceeded PCs. And just in this year, the install base has also come to a turnaround. The install base, smartphones plus tablets exceed the PC install base as well. And data is growing at an extraordinary rate due to pictures that are being shared, documents and tweets. Data are growing at a big to bigger to even bigger size. And I wonder if our dictionary need to invent more fancier and new terms for us to describe the data that is growing even bigger. So who has the solution for this? I thought by wearing a green tie today would be somewhat a giveaway. I believe in this man. He's called Jaspreet. He's the co-founder and CEO and chairman of Druva. Let me share more about this amazing company with you. It was founded by Jaspreet with a few ex-employees of Veritas in 2008. It's amazing, and it's also known as the next Veritas. They basically saw the huge potential of building a technology, a company from ground up. What do I mean by from ground up? Say, take Veritas as an example. It was a company that was founded back in 1983. So this is 2013. So we're talking about a company that has been around for 30 years. So versus a company that was built in 2008 with the intent to build something to harness the challenge of enterprise mobility and the cloud. You're talking about in terms of a technology like this, you will relay it to WAN, to unstable bandwidth, and huge potential for growth, etc., etc. And when Druva caught my attention back in 2010, it was when a company called Sequoia Capital invested $5 million US into Druva. Sequoia Capital, if you've not heard of them, they are IT venture capital, world famous, who have invested at early stage into people like Cisco, Google, Yahoo, and all these other today's giants. In 2011, they have done really well, and they have acquired 800 customers globally, protecting over 300,000 endpoints. And so they attracted more investors. Nexus Ventures, Sequoia Capital further invested another 12 million. And in 2012, that's quite interesting. It's more for us fellow CIOs to understand. Is Gartner rated them as number one. Number one in what? In Endpoint Backup Solutions, out of an examination of 11 products. Yes, I heard, yes, IBM, EMC, and CA were on the list. And now, this year, over 2,000 customers globally, protecting over 1.7 million endpoints in 48 countries. And just for note, 3 out of 4 big 4 auditing firm are a customer of Druva. For example, PwC has a large-scale rollout of 8,000 devices. It's interesting because talking about a new company that was started back in 2008, and there's already such huge growth and huge adoption. It must be something relevant and to the liking and taste of the enterprise IT. So today for Druva, I will introduce 3 products. First being backup for endpoints. Second, file sharing. It's a Dropbox-like file sharing with enterprise class security. Third, DLP, data loss prevention. Backup, sharing, and DLP. 3 things. Backup, file sharing, and DLP. 3 things. 3 products. Well, why did I say Druva is compelling? Because Druva made it right. Druva had intelligently combined these 3 things into one product called Druva InSync. And this is true values. This is compelling. This means a lot to the IT community because you are no longer handling a hybrid or crazy monster type of infrastructure, having to support and maintain so many different systems and to pay for so many maintenance annually. So it's beyond just doing simple backup, delivering more than just backup that many of you have thought of. And like I said, it's a unified data management solution. And it takes care of everybody within an enterprise, whether you're from the IT shop, IT control is given to you. You're given centralized policy to do management, and IT have total visibility over all the corporate data that is being used by the end users who are accessing all the corporate data or selected type of corporate data anytime, anywhere. So on the right-hand side, you see it's so compelling that everything is grouped into the ring with backup, DLP, file sharing on mobility devices, which includes iOS and Android, iPad, iPhone, all of this, smartphone devices and new tablets or laptops. Or if you can make your desktop mobile, that's also protected. So there's huge saving for IT. And the savings are multiple. They aren't just savings, it's also saving plus value creation. And it's divided into these 5 things. First one being prevention of data loss. If you lost your data, lost your laptop, Intel tells you you're losing $49,000 US for all the data that relates to contract or business. Storage and bandwidth saving, thanks to the 3rd generation deduplication by Druva, is able to save you 90% on bandwidth and storage. It truly is true. Thirdly, is end user productivity gain. Later on, I will do a quick demo, and through that, you will see how end user productivity is gained. Simplify IT management and improve IT visibility is a key for us, IT fellows. We need control. At the same time, we need to provide that end user experience. This is the challenge. This is at a glance, not 2,000 all shown on the screen, but a selected list of companies that are using Druva in the globe. Some consulting firm, PwC, IDC, KPMG, Deloitte, NASA, a group of university. So it was well trusted. They have scalability and stability, and they were well backed financially by those venture capitalists I just shown to you. So at this point, I would say, why don't I bring you Druva onto the screen?
InSync, Druva's award-winning unified solution, offers backup, secure file sharing with integrated data loss prevention, and rich analytics. Let's face it, protecting critical data on your organization's endpoints is a huge pain. You not only have to back up corporate data on laptops, but also data on personal tablets and smartphones that employees are now bringing into the workplace. To make matters more complicated, employees install consumer-grade file sharing solutions on their devices and share files with users inside and outside the organization. This limits your visibility, and corporate data is now exposed on several devices. Data that can be lost or stolen. You need a unified solution that can effectively solve all these problems and work across all endpoints. InSync's backup is smarter, faster, and designed for endpoints from the ground up. It can be deployed in less than 20 minutes, yet offers one of the most scalable and secure backup solutions for enterprises. Its secure file sharing and collaboration feature allows your workforce to instantly sync and share files with any coworker or external partner over any device. InSync's integrated data loss prevention capability lets you track devices, encrypt data, and remotely wipe data if those devices get lost or stolen. Advanced data analytics allows you to perform global searches for files across any device in your organization and analyze endpoint data trends. So, with InSync, you get all the data protection, security, and visibility you need. Employees love it because it's non-intrusive, easy to use, and offers mobile access to data. InSync saves you time, money, and allows you to do your job without any disruption. How does InSync do this all so well? InSync uses a technology called app-aware deduplication. So instead of duplicating your files, InSync sends only the modified data to the server. This saves you 90% on bandwidth and storage because only a single instance of data needs to be stored. InSync also offers the industry's most advanced WAN optimization capabilities. Simply put, data transfers go smoother, even on those sketchy network connections. Not yet convinced? Request a demo of InSync and see for yourself. With one of the industry's best customer satisfaction rate and top-notch SLAs for our enterprise plans, the decision is easy. Visit us today at www.druva.com.
That was breathtaking, at least to me after watching 100 over. Well, it comes to the best part of today, what I thought would be the best thing to do a simple demo with you guys so you see how compelling and simple it is. What I've prepared for you here will be a solution that will be seen as something for everybody. There will be 3 scenarios we'll do in the next 3 minutes, assuming you're the project manager, assuming you're the marketing manager, and the IT manager, to see how this solution will be fitted for your enterprise needs. So when I say for the first one is the project manager, let's assume you are Jason, the project manager, and you want to share a secure folder with a project team member, say Eric, who happens to be out there in a conference outside of the network, outside of the office. And let's get started. Here, let's right-click on Consulting Project, and then right-click on InSync Share, and then share this folder, click. By the way, this is live. If anything goes wrong, it's live. If anything goes right, it's right. And I said Eric, didn't I? So let me pick Eric from the team member list and add him. And once he's added, I'm able to pick whether to only grant Eric the view right or edit right. Let's give him more power, edit right, so he can do more. When I say, I previously mentioned, I will show you how end user gain productivity. This is how. So edit right and save it. So within a minute, Eric will be given the folder.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually that Eric in the conference. Jason has just shared me the project folder. I got a notification. And I got to continue to collaborate my work with my team. Access anywhere on iPad, anytime in the conference. Get to work, no excuse.
Thank you, Eric, wherever you may be. Okay, so that's one example. Scenario number 2 will be assuming you're a marketing manager and you want to share a relatively large file, say 30 megabyte, and it just wouldn't go through or pump through your Outlook. IT wouldn't let you, right? So how to do it? Right click, I found that file in my folder, and then instead of sharing the file, why don't I share a secure link? Click onto it. When I say secure, means security measures are applied, and I get to choose 3 things here. How many days this link will expire? Let's put 1. How many views can the recipient, I forgot to mention, that recipient is called Jennifer. So Jennifer will be able to see it only once. And whether I want Jennifer to be able to download it or just preview it. Let's untick this. So we disallow Jennifer to download this link, this file. She can only view it once. Click on it. So now the link is prepared. Let's copy it. Like we will always do, we go to our Outlook, and then we paste that link here, and then send to Jennifer. And within seconds, Jennifer received that link from her email. and click on it. And Jennifer now can view this 35 MB files. It's a confidential document. And after that, she no longer can view it after one time. So after two scenarios, if you're still not convinced, because you might have seen products who are very similar to this out there, but the missing piece is this third scenario. The missing piece is enterprise security visibility for IT management. So let us go to the console. This will take 10 seconds. And you're arriving at a fancy dashboard, and this is what Druva has to offer. It's simple, but it provides everything you need. Despite all these other functions, let's focusing on share. And in here, you can basically have an overview of what has been shared inward and outward of your enterprise by users using the mobile devices. Is all this links share, folder share, and we can see individual users. Let's go to global activity to have a complete view of all the logs that have been sent in and out of your enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my demonstration to you. Oops. This is added late last night when I opened my news portal and saw this news. And it tells you why you want your own on-premise platform. You read it yourself. So, comes to a conclusion. If you were to take one message back home from what I have been sharing with you today, we are swimming in an ocean of data, and we need to make sure we have our lifeboats. And that single message is, make sure your corporate data, corporate mobile data is protected. Thank you very much for all your time, all your attention and patience. And if you would like to talk a little bit more afterwards about ICG and Druva, our representatives out there will be happy to take care of you. I will stay around for 30 minutes after this, and then I'll be gone. Thank you.